Hello, bienvenidos. As you guys can see from the title, today I'm doing something a little bit different for the VIB sale. As you guys know, I'm not really purchasing much. I'm not trying to, at least. We're still in the process of trying to get a car. I'm just leaving it in God's hands because right now I have no clue how we're going to do this, where we're going to do this, when it's going to happen. I'm just chilling. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not chilling. I'm just happy that I have legs that move, that if I need to go somewhere, I just gotta get there. So I'm not purchasing much, and I don't think I'm going to get anything at the VIB sale. There is still the one palette that I really want, but it's just a palette. I can wait a little bit longer if I've already waited this long. So anyway, I thought, why not, instead of sharing with you guys either a wish list or what I want to get or what I'm eyeing on the Sephora VIB sale or what I would recommend for you guys to get on the VIB sale, why not? Why not look back at my very first shopping at the VIB sale and see if I still have these products, what I did with them. Did I end up decluttering them? Did I get my money's worth out of my very first trip as a VIB person at Sephora? So if that's something that interests you, stay tuned. But first, if you're new, welcome. My name's Alejandra. I go by Alec. Eyeshadow enthusiast here with a Dash Project Band. If that is something you want to continue to see on your feed, join us and subscribe. And now let's get on with the flashback of my first VIB sale. Okie doke, you guys. So this I found to be fun. Now, it just so happened that the very first trip I ever did on a Sephora VIB sale shopping spree was spring. It was the first time was in spring. It was in 2014, you guys. We are talking about almost 8 years ago. Holy crap, that's a long time. So it's about 8 years ago. Yes, this video is still on my channel. No, please don't go watch it. It's cringing. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. And I had to watch it because I had to figure out what it is I bought, because back then, 8 years ago on YouTube, you couldn't link your stuff. You didn't link your stuff. You couldn't do affiliate links, all that kind of stuff. You didn't get paid for this. So, I had to go back and actually watch it, and I cringed at every second of it. So anyway, I have my 10 products here. I wrote them all down, and I'm going to tell you guys what it is I still own. Yes, some of these products I still own, you guys. And then some products I decluttered and some products I actually used up. So here we go. All right, so let's start off with the first product. If I don't own any of these products anymore, I will put photos up on the screen for you so you guys can go down memory lane with me. Why not? Just go down together. So the first one was Stila Kitten Liquid Luminizer. This was just like your Benefit High Beam, but Stila made a version of it. It was beautiful, you guys. I loved it. It was a really nice champagne gold. This product was full size, and it was one of my first liquid luminizers. And yes, I panned this one. This one I completely used up. So I'm proud to say I did get my money's worth out of this one. After that one, I did end up getting later on the Benefit Sunbeam one. So it'll tell you right there that I did like it. It had glitter in it, if I remember correctly, but I did enjoy it. And back then, 8 years ago, I didn't have as much wrinkles on my face and fine lines. So I bet it looked a lot better than it would now today. Would I buy that now? No. No, because my whole mindset is different when it comes to liquid and cream products. They go bad quicker, and I am smarter than that now. So no, I would not buy it again. The next one was another cream or a liquid luminizer. This was the Buxom Luminous the liquid highlighter. Came in a tube. It was rather large. It was called Divine Goddess was the color of it. It was one shade. It was beautiful. It reminded me of like this, it was gold, but it was more of like a beigey gold. It was beautiful. This one was a large tube. So what I ended up using, and I did finish this one up. I completely panned this one, if I remember correctly. I ended up mixing it in with my lotions and using it as a body shimmer. It was beautiful that way. It looked like the size of a lotion bottle. So it wasn't these little tiny things, and it was going to last me a lifetime if I didn't do that. But I liked it. I liked the tone of it. I think I like the tone of this one more than the Stila one. It no longer exists, obviously, and I wouldn't repurchase it now just because of the size of it. It was huge, and we all know we don't need anything that large. And two, again, I'm not buying any liquid or cream products like that. I have to really think about them before I do. Up next, this one I remember, and it was beautiful, and I don't regret 100% getting rid of this one. This is the Pantone Color Face Palette. This was the face palette. The year of 2014, I believe, was Radiant Orchid was the actual color. And Sephora came out with a trio. It was 2 highlighters and a blush. The year prior was Marsala, I believe was the color. And I was so upset I missed out on that shade that I ended up buying the one for the following year. The formula was beautiful. I really liked it. Radiant Orchid was a very, very distinct and unique shade in my collection at the time. And even now, if I would have had it, it still would be unique because I don't gravitate towards those colors for blushes and I don't really use them that often. So it would still be unique to me now. But I know I have decluttered that one. I decluttered it. I didn't get much use out of it. I preferred the highlighters out of it than I did the blush because I reached for them more. And if I wasn't going to use the whole palette as a whole, I figured let me give it to somebody who would enjoy it. So I did end up decluttering that one. I never really fully used it, really got into it. It wasn't, I bought it because I was more upset that I didn't get the one last year and I thought maybe this would kind of quench my thirst. It did not. And I've learned not to do that anymore. But I did declutter that one. So that one did not meet its demise with me. It went to a new home. Up next, this was the Josie Maran Argan Bronzer. It was a sunspot bronzer. It was a beautiful packaging, rose gold. It had this really nice imprint on it. I remember this was being one of the first products I rolled into a project pan back in the day, and I did pan this whole entire bronzer. It was a beautiful tone. By the time it was more of a loose powder, it wasn't so densely packed, so I went through it rather quickly. Did I see it do stuff with my sunspots? No. But it was a beautiful bronzer. Loved the tone of it, loved the formula. Josie Maran hasn't really done makeup much lately. Have you guys noticed that? So yeah, this is when she dabbled into it more, but now she doesn't do it as much. But this was a beautiful bronzer. I do have plenty of bronzers. I have specifics. I'm not really picky with bronzers, believe it or not. I'd be happy with 2 or 3 of them in my collection and be okay. But I don't have like holy grails or ones that I specifically like. A bronzer's a bronzer to me, honestly. I like a glowy one, I like a matte one, and I like them to be neutral tones. I don't care to be darker, deeper, whatever. You know, if I can make it work all year round, we're good to go. So I wouldn't buy this now, but I'm happy that I panned it because I remember really enjoying that one a lot. Up next, you guys, it was the Too Faced Glitter Glue. This was the year I was introduced to glitter glue and didn't know that existed. And you guys know that since I was 18, the first things I ever bought were pigments, eye pigments, and I didn't even know that existed, glitter glue. So I could have used that back when I was 18 using pigments, but I finally purchased my very first high-end glitter glue that I used till I couldn't use it anymore. I think about 2 years ago when I finally got rid of it, it had gone bad on me. It separated, it just looked terrible because I had it for a long time, but I will say that 3/4 of the tube was used. So even though I didn't use every last drop of it, I feel like I did get most of my money's worth out of it. It ended up going in the trash. So I would say that, yeah, I think I did get my money's worth out of it. Would I repurchase it now? I just want one glitter glue. Currently, I have 2 in my collection. I only want one, and I did like this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did like it. I think it worked well. It was nice and tacky. It made everything sit well. It didn't crease on anything and nothing faded. If I did not have any, I wouldn't mind buying this one again because the tube lasts forever, and for $20 some, it lasted me close to like 6 years. I think that I got my money's worth. So yeah, I probably would. If I needed to, I would. Up next, you guys, remember this one. This is the NARS Chelsea Girls Lip Lacquer. This was a product I purchased because of Nicole Guerrero. She loved it, and I really wanted to try it, and this was the year that it was starting to get discontinued, so I decided to go ahead and purchase it. This product I did pan, again in another project pan. It was beautiful. I actually didn't mind it with the one exception that it was in a pot form. They had since changed it into a lip gloss. I don't know if it still exists. I don't know if it does, but they did put it in a lip gloss, traditional lip gloss packaging. But you got more money. You got more out of it through the pot version, and the color was a little bit different. It was a color that was it could stand on its own, You didn't have to really wear anything with it. It wasn't sticky. If you put too much, it looked very thick on your lips, so you didn't need a lot of it. Would I repurchase it again? No, because it's in a pot form. If it was in a different way, maybe. I didn't mind the color. This is one of those few pink shaded lip products that I didn't mind, and it looked nice on me, whether I had a tan or not. And it was a nice formula. But I'm happy I panned it because that was one of my most expensive lip products at the time. And now looking back, I can't believe I spent that much on a potted lip lacquer. I would not do that now. Tell you that right now. No, no. The next two were impulse purchases. I even said it in the video. These were my Bite Beauty Duo lip products. These were the minis that you would find as you were checking out. And of course, it caught me, and I ended up purchasing two shades. One had like a bright pink and orange. I think it was Palomino and another shade. And then the other one was the neutral version of it, lychee and something else. Both of those I tried to use as much as I possibly could, but at the time, these were formulated differently than what Bite Beauty is now, and they did not last that long at all. So these, unfortunately, were decluttered into the trash because they went bad. I did not get a chance to use them all up, but I did remember using most of them. I wouldn't say not even half of them, but I did get a few uses out of each shade. So I didn't get my money's worth 100% out of them. They were mini versions, but now we know we do not buy lip products. At least I don't buy lip products, so I know I would not buy these now. I have too much. Three more products, you guys, and I saved the best for last. The three products that are left are the three products that are still here with me. First and foremost, I purchased the Cover FX Sunlight highlighter. This was one of my Guys, I'm always dropping something in every video lately. What is wrong with me? So this one is called Sunlight. This is a natural highlighter. It's beautiful, you guys. And actually this year I've been thinking about this one and Moonlight to try to pan them, just because they are getting older in my collection, as you guys can tell, but it's still working beautifully fine. And the powder, I mean, Cover FX does great complexion products. See how natural that is? The only reason why I have not put this in a project pan this year is because I am panning my face palette that has basically the identical type of formula and shade of this. So I'm already wearing, and I'm wearing it today, so I'm already wearing it, and I don't want to overdo it by panning two products of the same thing. I'd rather pan something that's more brighter in my face mixed in with this toned down one. So if I don't want to wear a toned down one, I have a brighter one, you know what I mean? So I like to mix it up so that way I have two varieties of things. But this is something that's on the back of my mind to pan because I know it's getting older. The formula's still working great, you guys. It's still working perfectly fine. After so many years, it's still kicking strong. So I don't regret it. I actually like this. This is more of a natural highlighter, and I see myself when I go back to the workforce, or if I have an event that doesn't call for a bright highlighter, this is something great. I really like Cover FX. And I think since then they have changed the packaging of that. I wouldn't be shocked. Up next, this beauty right here. This is the Too Faced chocolate bars when I bought that at the VIB sale. I didn't even know that. So I got this for 20% off. And I did buy this months after it released. So this was released back in 2013, I believe. I did not get it right away. I was one of the last ones to get the thick packaging because I remember buying it and they were telling me they were switching to the thin version of it. So I was one of the last few to get it. And here's what my palette looks like. You guys, if you follow me on my Instagram, you guys have seen that I have actually been targeting this palette this year. I've been trying to play around with it a little bit more. I hit pan on this shade this year. The formula is still exactly the same as when I bought it. And it still smells like chocolate, you guys. If you take care of your stuff, it'll last a little bit. Yes, I know it's going to go bad eventually, but let me enjoy it. It's not giving me any irritation or effects on my skin, so I'm going to continue to use it until I can't. So yeah, would I buy this now? That's a hard question because I'm going to tell you right now, as much as formulas have changed drastically, formulas have changed, tastes have changed, but I feel like this is a classic. This is a classic, and I actually would consider buying this one again. It's no longer existing. This has been discontinued, so you can't even get it if you wanted to. But I actually wouldn't rule this out because, as you guys know, I am a neutral lover as well as an a colorful lover. I love both, and there's an occasion for both. And this is like that classic one that you can just go to and know your look is always gonna look nice. You're always gonna look put together. You're not gonna be out there unless you choose the shades that are gonna be out there. It's just that palette where it works and it's user friendly. There's formulas now that I love that are very, very pigmented, but it's not easy when you're in a rush or when you need to get your stuff done quick. Those formulas don't cater to that. This does. So I'm 50-50 if I would buy this again. I wouldn't rule it out, but I wouldn't really jump on it too much. It would all depend on what my collection would look like if I were to get this again, but I'm actually glad that I have it still. All right, and the last product, you guys, was this. As I got a neutral palette. This just represents me all the way. I got a neutral palette as well as a bright palette, all in one haul. I love neutrals and I love my color. I got the electric palette, the Urban Decay electric palette. This was one of the first palettes that came out that was like a pure pigment palette. Now we see them all the time. Give Me Glow has them. Menagerie Cosmetics formula has them. The Norvina palettes have them. There's so many out there that now do the pure pigment type of formula that this at the time was innovative. This at the time was new and very misunderstood because it got a lot of bad reviews due to the fact of how we had to learn how to change our way we applied our shadows to our eyes and how to tweak it a little bit to cater to the formula. This, you guys can see that it's still looking great. It still looks wonderful. I have no problems with it at all. I'm still using it. It hasn't affected me. The pigmentation is still there. I am very good when it comes to my eyeshadows. I really don't touch my eyeshadows with dirty fingers. I don't touch my eyeshadows with dirty brushes. Like I am very, very anal when it comes to my brushes and what I put on my face. That's probably why most of my shadows last a little bit longer, because I'm not one to like dig and touch and mess around with just because. I always have clean hands. But yeah, it's still working fine and it's still my collection. It'll still continue to be here until I decide that I don't want it. And it's still relevant, you guys. Both of these I feel like are still relevant because we're still seeing this kind of color stories and we're still seeing these kind of color stories. So guys, sometimes oldies are good and you don't need newbies. All right, so real quick, so I don't go too long with this video. I purchased 10 products. In this video, I also did an Ulta haul, but I only concentrated on the Sephora stuff. In this haul, I purchased 10 items at the Sephora VIB sale. Out of the 10 items, 3 are still in my collection. 3. I decluttered 3. And I panned 4 of them. So I actually panned more than I decluttered and I still have 3, which is actually great. I am not upset about that. I love seeing how far I've gone. So this was such an eye-opener and it made me happy to know that I'm using my products. I'm not decluttering things just because. The things that I decluttered, for the most part, it was because they went bad, with the exception of one thing. One thing I generally decluttered because it wasn't my thing. But the other 2, because they went bad. So I'm not upset about this. I'm actually happy. I'm digging this. What do you guys think? Should I do more of these, like looking back at my hauls, the flashback hauls, and see where my products are, what I've been doing with them, what I did with them, to see how far we've gone? I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, let me know what you guys are buying at the VIB sale haul. As you guys know, I mentioned one thing, and that's the Mini Biba palette. I still want that Mini Biba palette, so that may be the only thing I get. I don't know, or I'll just go to the Natasha Denona website and purchase it there. I still haven't decided as of today what I'm doing, but I know I'm not going crazy. I can't, I don't want to, and I have enough. Plus I want a new car. I need a new car, you guys. I need a new car. All right, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll put more videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, adios.